Guys, it's Ian here, senior advisor with Apple, to give you, I guess, a backup episode of the first video I posted to this channel where I did a comparison between the AirPods Pro that just came out, the second generation AirPods, and the Powerbeats Pro. I figured that that video was super long, so I'm going to do a very shortened and condensed version of just my initial impressions of the AirPods Pro and just give you an idea of a small amount of information about the Powerbeats Pro and the second generation AirPods. So my overall impression of the AirPods Pro, as you can see in comparison to the two, they changed the size of the case and they made the AirPods smaller than the second generation, and which I did not care that much about initially, but I do have some qualms about it. I personally, like I said, I'm a little unhappy with the AirPods Pro, and it's primarily because I feel like Apple overpriced them. They're at a whopping $249. I think that if they did anything, they should have made them. These are $199, I believe. They should have made these $149 and then made the AirPods Pro $199. I think they're slightly overpriced for what they can do. So that's issue number one. Issue number two is that I love the second generation ones because in my ear, I forgot they were in. There were times where I was about to hop in the shower and at the last minute I remembered that they were in my ear. Like I've fallen asleep in these. They're super comfortable, but I swear I forget they're in my ear and I have to sometimes tap my ear to see if they're there. With these, because of the ear tips, I know they're there. I know they're in my ear. So that might be a good thing because there are people who think that having these type of Bluetooth devices in your ears for a long period of time is dangerous because of the electromagnetic field or Bluetooth. I don't know, but a lot of people think that's dangerous. So for me, whenever I'm not using them, they're in this case, which was definitely, whoops, that's not good. That definitely was not the case with the second generation. Definitely not the case at that point. So that's my main issue with it. Another thing is that these will benefit is because they do have the ear tips. This is let me find the camera. This is the ear tips. So this can come off and it comes with small, medium, and large. And it sounds like it's hard to get these off, but it's really not. They click right off with no problem. And then when you want to put them back on, it'll snap right what it's supposed to snap right in.
It's 21 hours.
All right, I'm aware of that device. All right, it'll snap right in, and you can try a different size if you're inclined to do so. So that is typically how you take them off and that kind of thing. So what I tell people is that if you if you were someone like my sister-in-law who they wouldn't fit in her ear because I don't know if she has small ears or whatever, but the second generation wouldn't fit in her ear. So for her, this is perfect because now with the ear tips, you can put the right size and fit in your ear. So that's fantastic. Kudos for her, but for me, these fit in my ear with no problem, so it was no big deal. So that's issue number one. The Celebrity Beats, I keep calling Celebrity Beats Pro. The Powerbeats Pro, I like the ear clip, and they stay in your ear with no problem because you have that ear clip. And for the longest, I used these when I was going to the gym based on the number of movements and things of that nature that I was doing. So I like that, and I did not sense much of a difference between these two as far as sound quality. As far as sound quality goes, I didn't see much of a difference at all, but that's what I would expect from Apple, is that the sound quality would be really good. The experience is more immersive with these only because I can activate the noise cancellation mode. And that's what, in my opinion, makes these so superior, in that when I'm out and about and I'm in a grocery store, for example, and I don't want to hear crying babies and the music that they're playing overhead, I can, while it's in my ear, I can press and hold. You just press this down. You can't tell that I'm pressing it, but you'll press that down and it will put you in noise cancellation mode. And with noise cancellation mode, you cannot hear your environment. And I swear by it. Like, I can, you hear a little bit, but the moment you turn your music on, you literally can't hear anything. It's like you're in your own world, and it does make me more connected to the music. It also has what's called transparency mode, in that if you do want to hear your external environment, you can by doing the same steps. You press it in and you can hear your external environment, especially if you are in the room and someone is talking to you, but you don't want to take them out. You can kind of hear yourself speak. So because that annoying thing when people are wearing like their AirPods or earbuds or whatever, and you're talking louder than you normally would because you're compensating for the fact that they're in your ear and they're sealed. Transparency mode kind of makes it where you're cognizant of how loud you're talking. And you also can hear what's happening as well as listening to your music at the same time. Now, that only works if your music is at a normal level. If you're still blasting your music and you have it on transparency mode, you're probably not going to notice much of a difference at all. What I don't like about transparency mode is that if I'm just sitting and watching television and I have transparency mode on, it's like I'm talking into a microphone. Like there's a weird echo sound in your ear because the AirPods they do have a mic on to kind of filter out the background noise and that kind of thing, or let you hear the background noise. So it's like when I'm talking or something, I can just kind of tell that it's a microphone or something on me, and it's just kind of freaky. So I don't like that. So I just keep them in my case when I'm not using it. So I wanted to make sure I shared that. The third thing that I wanted to make sure I spoke about is when you're actually talking on the phone. The only reason why I got the second generation AirPods is I was thinking that, okay, on the first generation, they definitely made it where you can hear everyone's background. I mean, when I was talking on the phone with my brother and other people, if my little nephew is in a room with him and across the room and he's talking, I swear I can hear him say everything. It's like he's on a three-way call with us. If my brother's pouring a drink or if I'm pouring a drink, he could hear me. If he's washing dishes, the clicking of the pans and stuff was like right in my ear, and it was so annoying. So I assumed that the second generation Apple would have fixed that. They did not. Charged more just so you can get a wireless case, but they didn't fix that when you're talking on the phone. And I get it. I guess they're like, you know what? We're all about music. These people today are not trying to talk on the phone like that. Everyone is trying to text message and things of that nature. No one really talks on the phone that much. So we're not going to put much emphasis on the experience of the person on the other end of the line. We're going to make sure that we put emphasis on the sound quality and you being able to listen to your music and exercise or listen to your audiobooks and that kind of thing, as opposed to anything else. On the AirPods Pro, they fixed it. I'm not saying they're perfect, but I will say that I don't get any complaints at all anymore when I'm, washing dishes or doing anything, watching television. People can faintly hear what's going on. So I think they did improve that, where you can comfortably have a phone conversation and not, worry about, people being annoyed by your loud background and that kind of thing. So I just want to make sure I threw that out there. So I want to keep this under 10 minutes. So I'm just going to break down the way I feel about, which direction you should go in as far as the purchases go. If you have a first generation AirPods and you're considering going to the second generation and these fit in your ears with no problem and you don't talk on the phone that much, go ahead and just get the second generation or get the Powerbeats Pro. Though the Powerbeats Pro are a bit more expensive. So that's one thing. If you did not buy the AirPods or can't buy the AirPods because they don't fit in your ear, go ahead and opt for these. And if you talk on the phone, so if you talk on the phone and people will be complaining, if you talk on the phone a lot and people will complain about, your background and things of that nature, go ahead and get these. They serve two purposes. If this generation didn't fit your ears, or if you talk on the phone and you want to make sure people can hear and understand you, go ahead and spit the $249 and get these. With the Powerbeats Pro, if you want that ear clip and you want it to fit snugly in your ear, you want quality sound, and you're more active, go ahead and get the Powerbeats Pro, because with these, even when I use a small, medium, or large ear tips, depending on how I smile or if I'm walking a certain way, they get loose in my ear. So they don't stay snugly in my ear like the second generation did, which is a really big disappointment, because that's one thing that I prided myself on with my AirPods. And that's why with these commercials, with the second generation commercial, the guy was like dancing and flipping upside down and all kinds of stuff, and they didn't fall out his ear. And I can attest to that. But with these, yeah, you move around a bit too much, or, jump around or do anything, they might get loose. And that might just be my ear. I mean, because I've tried all three different ear tips, and it's not one that just stays in comfortably. Like, even when I'm walking, I have to kind of put them in my ear and press them in sometimes, to make sure that they're snugly in my ear. And a few times when I was on the phone, and they get loose and I'm trying to adjust it, I have hung up on my caller like 4 or 5 times doing that the way they have it situated. The last thing is that with these AirPods, if I wanted to fast forward rewind, I just tap it. And I like that. With the new AirPods Pro, you don't tap it, you have to press in. So you press in at the bottom 1 time to pause, 2 times to do this, 3 times to do that, and you press and hold for noise cancellation and or to access Siri. But it's not like tapping it anymore. And to me, if you don't hold it at the right spot, the whole tapping it, or not tapping it, but pressing it, is not going to work. So you have to really press it, or at the right spot to pause your music or fast forward or rewind or that kind of thing. So that's something that it's no big deal, but it's what it is. So I'm not taking them back. I'll still use them for the purposes I just mentioned, out of respect for people who call me, because I talked on the phone with my mom and other loved ones. So I'll keep it for that reason. And I do like the sound quality in noise cancellation more so than I do on my beats, my power beats. So I'm going to go ahead and keep them. But the main thing I want to take away from this is I just think Apple overpriced them at $249. I think they should have been significantly cheaper. And I think that it's great that they changed the size and really opened it up for people who probably could not get AirPods because of the size before. But unfortunately for someone like me, some of the features that I loved on the first 2 generations of AirPods, I kind of lost those features on this one. Still a great product. I don't want to say don't buy them. There just was some concessions and some things I had to sacrifice by getting these, as far as my experience goes with them staying in my ear and that kind of thing. So that's it for me. Just a short and condensed review, nothing too much in detail. And I hope this helps. If you like, subscribe and comment, and we will take it from there. And I will make as many videos as I can that you're willing to listen to. I'm so grateful and I appreciate it. Bye now.